I'm a new leader. How can I build trust quickly?
So we talked about trust just a minute ago. And so for those that maybe haven't been exposed to the trust formula that I've been preaching for many years, it's a great starting place. So when we think about trust, think about it as a mathematical equation. So in one side of the equation, it's authenticity plus vulnerability in parentheses. Okay, so you got to add those two up, it's in parentheses. And the amount of that, you multiply that times credibility on the other side of the equation. So this side we have authenticity, vulnerability, this side we have credibility. And why there's a multiplier in the middle is if either side of that equation goes to zero, trust goes to zero. So I can be as authentic and as vulnerable with you all day long, but if I don't have any credibility with you, you're not going to trust me.
Yeah.
And the opposite is also true. I can be as credible, have the greatest title in the world, greatest resume in the world, but if I show up as too plastic or too polished or too phony, you're not going to fully trust me. You're going to think I'm kind of playing politics or playing some kind of game, have a hidden agenda. And so the key is you just can't go to zero on either side. So to the question, if you have a brand new team that you're working with, you already come in with a certain, and you're the leader, you already come in with a certain level of credibility because you were appointed as a leader. Now, we can always improve that, and we improve that through consistency and responsiveness. That's a great way to kind of fill that bank account. But they also need to know a little more about us, because the quicker they understand us, understand our expectations, learn a little bit more about who we are, the quicker that we can build trust with them. So what we want to do is early on with our team, sit down with them and say, hey team, really excited to be here. Let me share with you a little bit about my expectations. Let me share with you a little bit about my values. Let me even share a little bit about my journey, what my journey has been here, and maybe even a little bit about my personal side. It doesn't have to be deep, but just a little bit so they get a sense of who you are as a person. That will help them kind of drop their armor and weapons and feel a little more trusting. Some organizations actually have a formal process for that. They call it a new leader assimilation that HR facilitates.
Yeah.
And they'll actually guide the team and the leader through that conversation. And it helps what they can do in 3 hours will accelerate trust by about 3 months. So it's a nice way to do it. So while we want to be on this side, make sure we're very responsive, make sure we're really communicative and consistent. Those are all great, but also make sure you're sharing your expectations, your values, a little bit more about who you are. That's going to go a long way to kind of build both sides of that equation and really accelerate trust fast.
Yeah.